Hey guys, V from Sharkfin Shears here. Thank you for tuning in to today's class where we're going to be doing a live haircut, bringing you tricks and tips that you can take this week and use behind the chair. I suggest taking one or two of these tricks, trying them out on a client this week, see how they work out for you. Have fun with it. We're going to have fun in today's class. And be sure to tune in every Monday or check out the YouTube channel so you can see the recordings as well. If you're in today's class, please stay tuned to the end. I want to give you a promo code that you can use on the website to shop around that'll help you out when purchasing a pair of shears. Sharkfin is dedicated to bringing education on the tools that you're going to be using behind the chair. I'll talk specifically about the shear that I use and why I like it. And I just want to let you know, again, before we get started, that Sharkfin has a shear for everybody, whether you're looking for a swivel or a non-swivel, a 5.5-inch shear up to a 7, and the different type of blending shears that we offer as well. There's something out there for everybody, and I want to make sure that you have the tool that you're comfortable with in your hand when you're working behind the chair all day. So again, stay tuned until the end. Thank you for tuning in today. And if there's anything in the future that you would like to see, hit us up on Instagram at Sharkfin Shears and let us know what you want to learn about. Let's get started. Hey guys, and welcome to another Monday here with Vinny, me from Sharkfin Shears. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been some time that we have been having these classes, and I think it's been going extremely well. Thank you guys for your feedback. If you have anything at the end of today's class, please reach out to us. You can DM us at Sharkfin Shears on Instagram or email us education@sharkfinshears.com. We are here for you. We just want to provide you with any information, education that can help you guys advance your career. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and got a special guest today that I'm excited to bring in and cut for you guys today. And we're gonna talk about kids' haircuts today. So I have my son with me today, and we're gonna walk through his haircut, kind of as we normally do. We'll break down some stuff for you guys, but want to talk about just the philosophy behind kids' cuts. Doing kids' cuts in the barbershop was one of the ways that I built my book. I know that people look at servicing, doing services in the barbershop for kids, and they have different philosophies on it. It was extremely helpful for me. It was challenging at times. We know what kids can kind of bring to the table, but I work in a barbershop that is family oriented. We do first haircuts and up. It's something that we enjoy. It's a rite of passage in the barbershop to be able to come in and get that first haircut, and that experience for the family with the kids sitting in the chair with them getting that haircut and going through that with them it's great. It's a good feeling. And moving from that that's something we celebrate is all I'm saying. So moving from there and having kids come in from different ages, I found that first time in a shop cutting hair, I got a lot of kids. I was the new guy in the shop. People heard about us. They wanted to check our barbershop out, and a lot of the moms would bring their kids in. Being able to perform a good haircut on a young man and treating him with respect and asking him questions and engaging with him is somewhere where like the family felt very comfortable to come to the shop. Lo and behold, after cutting the young man's hair for a few times, then the dad would come in. So off of that, I was able to gain more clientele, and it was great practice for me. So don't overlook the kids' cuts. It's, again, for us in the shop that I work at, it's a part of our tradition. We're a community-oriented barber shop, and we pride ourselves on being able to take care of the families and everything. And again, it was just a way to build my skill and build my book. So
when I bring my son out today, we'll talk about the haircut, and then a few ideas kind of behind working with kids, some things that you'll see. Are you going to be good in the chair today? Okay, I'm already getting a mischievous look. You would think the son of a barber would sit perfectly and do all the things he's supposed to do, but it doesn't always happen. So we're going to talk through some of the things that you might come across with kids cut. So without further ado, let's bring in Joseph. Come on down, buddy. All right. And that's my other boy in the background there. All right, our cheerleader. So, Joseph, this is going to be your first time on the show. Thanks for coming out today and volunteering. You were willing to be on here. Why don't you tell everybody what you're looking to do with your haircut? What's the haircut that you have? What are you looking to do, and where do you want to see me tighten it up?
Well, I have a mullet, and I would like my dad to trim the sides and trim the top a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then how about the back?
My dad said my top was thick and bushy, and he wanted to trim it.
Yeah. That's good. All right. So thanks for letting them know that. And then what do you want to do with the back? Obviously, you got some flow going on. You like
that a little bit.
You want to trim it down a little bit today? But what do you want to keep with it? What do you want to make sure that I keep?
The mullet.
Well, we're going to keep the mullet. And then how about the curls? You want to keep the curls a little bit? Okay. All right. So yeah, we're going to cut the side down fairly tight, trim the top. What I was telling with Joseph, as it kind of grows in, it gets, he's got thick hair, it gets helmetish. So if he wanted to keep the length, I would trim it, but then really go in with some texturizing shears to debulk it, to have it lay a little flatter. But we are going to be able to go in and trim it today, cut it down. It's probably been about 6 weeks since his last haircut, and so we'll go off of that. I have done a mullet class before. I'll review some things that I'm going to do. How I like to approach a mullet, or if you haven't done a mullet yet, it can be a little intimidating, but you know where connection points are, and when you know that, you can kind of work through a haircut that you've never done before. So here's how I kind of like to break it down. We can connect the side to the top normally. It's the side to the back where we need to adjust some angles in order to get that short to long. So we'll talk about that. And then we can connect the top to the back, like in the crown area. So top to crown. And then as we get from the crown into the back, we're going to change angles of our cutting line there to be able to increase the length. So we'll break that all down as well. With Joseph's haircut today, I'm going to start at the top. It's a little bit of a different approach. I'll show you how we can do that, and we'll work through this haircut going step by step as we've done before. Smile, kid. You're on camera. All right. All right. Why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself? So, how old are you? What grade are you in? What are you into right now?
I'm 7 and I'm in 2nd grade. Like to read.
Yep.
And I like to play video games. I have a Switch.
Mm-hmm. What video games do you like to play?
Zelda. Mario Kart 8. Nintendo Sports.
Yeah. Nice. Well, thanks for sharing, bud. So, man, one of the cool things having a young man in the chair is really just kind of letting them have their space too. One of the cool things about the barbershop, depending on the duration of your haircut, whether it's 45 minutes, a half hour, whatever it is, it's a time where people that sit in your chair, they get to share about themselves, get away from the world. and no phones. You know, hopefully people sitting in your chair, they don't have any phones. They're not distracted. It's just pure one-on-one time, and being able to engage in some basic conversation with people. You know, you do the same thing with the kids. I really enjoy finding out what kids like, what they're into, and they teach me a lot of cool things. So, all right. So here's one trick, just starting off, that I'll show you. Having kids in the chair, sometimes they tend to move their head a lot. When I pull back on the comb, their head goes back like that. So a couple things I'll ask them to do is, if I go to scoop hair and they kind of pull back, I just explain what's going on. Like, okay, you're gonna feel that the comb pull a little bit. When you feel that tension, just try to keep your head as still as possible. Sometimes that works. If that's not working, here's one thing I'll do. I'll lean forward slightly. The crown of the head will kind of push up against my chest, so then I don't have to worry about them moving at all. There, it's nice and secure in that position. This helps with the younger age groups, kind of moving into Joseph's age too. But at this point, I'll show you. He can keep his head still, which is very helpful for me. If you're cutting kids and you're going to see them again, you want to use the first two haircuts to start to train them how to sit in the chair. If you have parents with, or if you're cutting somebody with kids and you know that you potentially might cut their kid, one thing that I encourage parents to do is bring the child in to see the barber shop once or twice before they get a haircut. Just let them be there, get to know people, see the shop, so that it's a familiar atmosphere when they come to actually get the haircut. That's something that I like to share with parents when they're bringing their kid into the shop. All right, so we're top cutting. I'll tell you why I parted the side here. That's showing me where the head is splitting in the parietal area from the top. So anytime you're trying to find someone's head shape, you can put the comb flat on their head. Anytime the head transitions from one area to the other, there's a flat spot. So we have the top of the head here, we have the parietal here, and then we have the side here. So where the comb is leaving, that's the top of the side of his head. Here we have the comb leaving here and here. That's the parietal ridge there that I like to go off of. So I separated that, and then as I'm picking up the hair, I have my guide here, and I'm working it square, so I don't even have to section out the other side. And then when I hold my fingers up to the guide, they're wall to wall, which the hair that's falling out under here, I'm leaving that length then to be able to clip or cut into that. So starting on the left side, working it over, using that guide, I can kind of flow through the top quickly. All right. So I did not cut the bangs yet. I like to leave the bang slightly longer. Here's a little trick for myself. So anything above the eyebrows, I can cut on the forehead. Close your eyes for me, bud. You're gonna feel a little bit of hair fall on your face. Don't worry about it. If it does, I will brush it off. If you could just hold still there. So again, explaining the next step to when you're doing a kid's cut is really helpful. Just letting them know like what to expect. Now, as you can see, Joseph's hair kind of grows in that a little bit of like a widow's peak. So we're going to try to just even that out. Yeah, bud. Nope. Nice. All right. The other side. And then can you bring your chin up just a little bit? Thanks. Bring your chin up again. All right. Now, this here, you're going to see a peak. This peak right here is where my connection's going to be. And what that's going to do is, it's not going to change the length of the bang. That hair is actually coming just behind the hair line. And then when it's falling and falling forward, it's going to leave the bang really heavy. Knowing that, I'm just going to trim it now. And because I trimmed the hair, the bang here, and I know exactly where I want it to fall, I can judge how much weight I want to take off to blend it into the top cutting of the haircut. And this is one way that I connect the bangs or the front hairline to the rest of the haircut. Cool. How's that feel, bud?
Good.
All right. So I've cut my son's hair, obviously, quite a few times. I know that his hair is bulky on top, so I'm still going to have to, I'll debulk it at the end. Right now, I'll add a little bit of texture. So I comb the hair opposite of how I'm going to go. I'm going to do diagonal sections across the hair. And for this, all right, you're going to feel a slight pull, Giuseppe. So what I like to do for slide cutting is I let the hair hit where the blades are meeting, the still blade and the moving blade, and then I just do small movements. This will allow for, Giuseppe will feel less of a tug. When I do this quicker on adults, it just kind of feels like a little bit of like razor pulling on the head, and it doesn't bother the client and it moves smoothly. But for a younger kid's cut, if I want to put texture in, then I'll move my blades open and closed. And you'll see this texture at the end of the cut. Cool. All right, so the top's done. We can see where that top length is falling, right about here. And that's what we're gonna blend into. So right at the top of the ear is where I like to separate. And again, I'm gonna section out. If you're performing a haircut like this for the first time, set your area where you're gonna be working. Sectioning out, it really helps you understand where you're working, what you're connecting to, because these connection points are gonna be different. Meaning connection from side to top and then side to back. All right. So that's where we're going to leave that. My clipper work is going to be on this angle, moving all the way up. If I turn, so if this is my clipper, and I'm working up the head like this, you can say I'm staying in line here. Once I turn, I can have a tendency to cross over that line, and then I'm going to push the transition area back a lot further. For clearing out hair, I'm going to use the rotary clipper. I'm going to use a 3.5 right now. If you have younger clients in the chair and the noise bothers them, you can use an adjustable clipper that's quiet. But anytime I can use a rotary, I like to do that. Let's bring my section back. Right here. So there it is. This is where I'm working right now. Here and here. Why does it matter if I know where the comb leaves the head? Right here. I'm going to use his head shape and the flat part of the clipper to build a little bit length here, so I can transition into the top with shear over comb. All right. Yep. So again, staying on this angle, building that shape. Yeah.
So when cutting a child,
Yeah.
what constitutes what's the training for the child?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Des just asked me when cutting a child or a young man, whatever, whoever's in your chair, what does the consultation look like? So like I said, we're a family-oriented barbershop. I want to treat, and I didn't do it when he got in the chair, I should have, but anybody that gets in my chair, I give him a firm handshake. So I'm going to shake the young man's hand as best we can and ask him how he's doing, how his day is. And I'm going to go through my basic consultation, like when was your last haircut? What are you looking to do today? And again, this is obviously going to be age appropriate. And I know he's not going to be able to articulate everything that he wants, but I want to get him used to like talking to me and telling me what he's looking to do with his haircut. Because one day he's going to be sitting in the chair, he's going to have to make his own decision, so it's nice to be able to start training that. And then, typically I'm going to turn to the parent and ask them to confirm what they're looking to do and everything. But again, I want to empower that young man that's sitting in my chair to voice his opinion, sometimes even if it doesn't line up with his parents. Yeah.
Can I have Spider-Man on the side of my head?
Not in this class, son.
Why?
All right, I got the 2 on now. So I'm just staying just under that 3.5. And again, now that I know I'm working in this area, I'm kind of free to continue to work. You can taper this out. You can skin fade it, whatever you want to do here.
I have a question.
So let's go in with a little bit. I'm going to taper this out now. So I put the 2 on. I'm going to go in with an open no guard.
I have a question.
Hold on, bud. And now, once I have that open no guard line, we're going to down fade from there. With my 2, I like to guard skip. So I have a half guard on now. I'm going to listen and watch. You can hear it cutting. Now I'm closing down into that open no guard. Cool. Can you look that way for the...
Brother.
Cool. Des, how's that looking on there?
Oh, great.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet.
Can I have a question?
Hold on, buddy. Sure. All right, so let's repeat to the other side. Can you zoom out, Des?
Yep.
Smile, kid. Come on. What are you doing?
I don't have to smile if I don't want to.
You're right. You're right. All right. All right, I'm not gonna, oh, whatever. Okay, so we're gonna repeat this on the other side. We have a connection. Let's work in the same area. So we did the 3.5 up and off the head. We're gonna put the 2 on, and then we're gonna taper out.
Now, as a barber,
Yeah.
how do you want to do a
As a barber cutting kids, how does one deal with a helicopter parent? It's a good question. I think this is a great question. Okay, so you have a parent who's just constantly over top of your cutting and everything like that. Extremely patient. Okay. Again, you're building trust. Not only are you, when anybody sits in your chair, you're building trust, right? Now you're building trust with somebody else's kid. So you have somebody standing in your cutting bubble, your circle, something like that. Extreme patience, providing the information to them. Like I was telling him, hey, close your eyes. I'm going to cut across your forehead. I'm going to do this next. I'm going to do that. I'm kind of providing the same information for the parent. And then also when they start to see how you're treating their child and everything like that, if they're still in your cutting bubble in 2 or 3 haircuts, I would be extremely surprised. That trust is going to build over that first haircut. So I totally get it. I understand. I just try to be as patient as possible. Remember, typically people are going to behave, because of prior experiences. So maybe the last time someone cut their kid's hair, they did not come out at all remotely close to what they wanted. So they kind of want to make sure that you're going to give them the haircut that they want. They're going to try to make sure that their kid's comfortable. There could be a number of reasons why they're doing that. But yeah, it's a good question. Extremely patient. I try to explain what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. And then what I've typically noticed is as soon as they see that I can be trusted, then they'll kind of give you your space. Yeah, bud.
I'm hungry. You're always hungry. I know. I'm hungry.
Well, we'll be done probably in the next 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right. You're welcome. All right, guys. So, again, the 3.5, the 2. Now, I'm taking into consideration how light Joseph's hair is. So that's kind of why I do the 3. I do the 3 up at the top to keep his hair darker than the 2 would. I follow in under the 2 because I know I can blend into the 2 with the skin easy in the process that I'm showing you now. So those are some of the things I'm taking into consideration. Picking the guards that I am and what I'm doing. If his hair was darker and stayed dark longer for this type of like skin taper and stuff, I would just go up and off with a 2 and then do the normal process that I'm showing you now.
Excuse me, Dad. No more questions.
Oh. So what I'm doing now, just real quick, the open half guard didn't flick into the 2 as I wanted it to, so I just went in and polished with a 1. I started open, and that got the haircut the way I wanted it to, so I'll just leave it at that. If it didn't get it exactly where I wanted, then would have gone in and would have closed it down to get what I wanted. All right.
This is a movie. Really cool.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, I need you to face this way, bud. All right, again, extreme patience. You can see Joseph has a tendency, just like the other kids, he wants to keep turning. He can see the monitor, so he wants to keep looking at the monitor to see his cut and what's going on. Here's what I'll say to that. So I'm trying to cut so you guys can see. If a child or anybody in the shop keeps like turning and looking, I turn them to where they want to look. So here's another kind of trick for you. If the parents are sitting behind you and then you turn the kid away, they're going to want to like keep turning and turning and turning, maybe looking for mom and dad. So, hi.
Hi.
So just cut them in the direction that they want to look. If you have a TV, something they can look at, if they can look out the window, find whatever that they're interested in. Sometimes you can even play I Spy, something that we might play.
Dad, can I go get a magazine? I spy something black.
All right.
Dad, can I go get something upstairs, a magazine, please? But I have nothing to do.
All right, hold on.
But I don't know how.
All right. So just shear over comb, blending in that 3.5 to the top cutting. I like the way that that's coming out. Nice.
You want to punch it out?
Yeah, a little bit. Let me see.
This is not a part.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right.
No.
So another thing you're going to have to deal with is how much time kids can kind of last in the chair. That is one of the difficulties. Being able to move, being able to have a younger client sit still. And again, this is going to take some training. I've had clients that have come in and just fidgeted and fidgeted and fidgeted. Was able to get them with some different kind of techniques. Like I would count down, like, okay, give me 10 seconds. I would count, and as I was counting, I would get the work done that I needed to, and then I would let them move in the chair a little bit, get some wiggles out. I am seeing just some length that I want to remove, so just picking that hair up, getting a little bit more layer in there. Cool. So let's move to the back.
How long will the back take?
We'll do this side real quick. All right, so look that way, please. All right, here's one of the easiest ways for shear over comb to transition from the side to the back. So I comb all the hair forward and I bring down one section. So we're seeing a little bit of length and weight here. If you can see, it's coming from the parietal. So if it's weight and we want to remove it, that means we have to elevate it a little higher to be able to remove the weight that we want, but keep the length. So, hold on. Des, can you punch in on this just a little bit?
Yep.
Right there. Great. And then, so once that blend is the way that you want it, we can bring down another section. Okay, so I'm seeing a little bit more length. It's coming from higher up on the head, so I'm going to elevate even higher. And we're just cutting the ends to be able to get that soft layer because I want to build into the top. I think one of the common mistakes that I see in that area for blending, people don't pay attention to where they're getting their guide. The guide is coming from the bottom where you left off with the clipper. So bringing it down section by section, using the guide underneath, and then just taking what you need is will help with that build. All right. Good. So let's move to the back.
How long will the back take?
The back shouldn't take too long because we're going to keep this. I'm going to keep a lot of length on the bottom. What I'm seeing here, so we'll take a look here. What I'm seeing is length and bulk in the crown that I want to remove, and then this band right here of hair that I want to take out some length there. So again, in one of our other classes, we cut wavy and curly hair. So I took notice of what Joseph's hair looked like as it was dry, and taking into account the curl and the wave, because as you can see, as I'm wetting this and combing it out, you can see how long it is. So pay attention to that. If somebody has wavy or curly hair, younger men's hair down at the bottom here does tend to curl out. And if a parent wants to keep that curl or they want to keep that curl, you just want to pay attention. All right. Head forward. So we're going to work back center and then work out from there. All right, look forward for me. Right there. Okay, so here's the guide from the top cutting. I'm going to come out fingers parallel to the wall first. And here's what we're going to do here. We're going to bring this hair up. Nice. Make that connection there. And then as I come down, I'm going to change the cutting angle with my fingers. So instead of producing this 90 and cutting all this length off here, we're going to flare out our fingers, point our fingers out, and we're going to go short to long. So I'm going to reserve length towards the bottom and cut and connect the middle. Like that. So we're going to come back up to the top, repeat the process. I'm moving towards the right center now, keeping that same angle. See my guide. Move down slightly. Now, this is the most important part. In the nape area, I'm letting that go and hang out. Chin down for me, bud. And really flaring out my finger to remove less length as I move down the head. So you can see that cutting angle. There's the cutting angle. Oh, let me try again. Here's the cutting. Can you look forward? There it is. Of short to long. Okay, so we're going to do that, finish that out to the right and to the left. Again, pay attention to make sure that nape area drops out, hard angle, and I'll explain one more trick here. We've talked about this on a previous class. When cutting hair between your fingers, the most control that you're going to get is from fingernail to second knuckle. Also, that helps when you're making connections. If you try to cut from fingernail to the base of your finger, then you're going to miss your connection. So let me explain what that looks like real quick. So we bring the hair up again. I'm on the left side now. Connection, fingernail to knuckle. Take the guide from here that I just cut that was towards the fingernail. Fingernail to knuckle. Here's the guide. Move it back a little bit. Fingernail to knuckle. Make sure that this falls out down at the bottom. Fingernail to knuckle. If I just try to cut this area from here to here, this is going to be long, the middle is going to be short, and then it's going to be long again. But when I move in areas from A to B to C, I'm going to get a cleaner shape and more control over the length that I want. Move forward. Sorry, I can't show you this part because I need them to be able to see it. Again, just picking that hair up. Increasing that cutting angle to go from short to long. And protecting that bottom length here. Because we want to keep that curl. And we want to keep the mullet long. All right. So let's connect the side. I'm going to comb the hair down and back. I'm going to have my comb mimic that angle, take out the mullet area. And we're going to do that same short to long, but now we're going to come off horizontally. So here's where I left off with the clipper. So I got my fingers flush up against his head. I angle out my palm to go short to long here. And then we'll have to just go back in. Do some slight shear work over comb, mimicking the same angle as my fingers. And the reason I'm moving from fingers to comb is the comb is tighter, and because I left the head with a tighter guard, I'm going to be able to blend that in nicer. So right here, we'll clean that up with the outliner. Do the same thing on this side. Now my knuckles are going to be up against the head. Fingertips are going to be pointed out. Comb is matching. One of the key factors here is that the comb is matching the angle that the hair is brushed in or combed in. Knuckles are flush against the head and fingers are out. Removing just a little bit of that hair that I don't need. You're doing great, bud. I'm almost done. Creating that short to long look there. Coming back in. Polishing it up again with the comb because it's a tighter tool. And I removed some of the length that I needed with the fingers. Sweet. So the top kind of dried already. In this haircut, I blended the back right in to the nape with that hard finger angle to keep the mullet as long as possible. So we're going to put a dry matte clay in and we'll dry this up. What do you think, bud? Do you like it? You still will see all that hair in the back? All right. So I'm going to scrunch the hair to protect this curl. You can see it's just coming back up as it dries, which is nice. I don't want to comb it out again. That's going to create tension. Tension is going to straighten that curl. Got some nice texture in the back. Let's put a little matte clay up front. When I'm applying product, it's in my hand smooth. You don't see any of the paste. I apply with fingertips first. I get down to the root of the hair, distributing the product as evenly as possible. What's kind of nice about pulling the hair back, I can see my shape. Look for it. Got a nice flat and even shape here, so I'm kind of cross-checking while I'm doing that. And then any areas that I want to, now I can kind of go in with the palms and be a little bit more, add and distribute a little bit more. But it's not going to chunk. That's the thing you really want to avoid. I think we did a good job today.
Yay.
All right. So I'm going to diffuse the back to keep that curl. Oh, yeah.
What are you wearing?
All right. A little trick. I like to scrunch up the curl, put it in the diffuser. Anytime I'm using a blow dryer on a young gentleman, I always will tell him, hey, let me know if this is too hot. It should be perfect temperature though. Light circle movement to lift the hair a little bit. I have it on low speed, low heat. I do not want to frizz out his hair. Drying it too quickly at a high heat can do that.
Dad,
Yeah.
why do you put the blow dryer on the person's hair?
So with a diffuser, it's not a streamlined air, so all the air is coming out of all these knots, all these like nodules, all these nodules. So I got to put it on your head to dry it. Yeah. So if I just use the blow dryer, it's going to be too much tension. It's going to straighten out your curls. So for some people, this might be common sense. Other people, what I'm looking for is, you can see how his hair is lightening up in color. I got some dark spots, which means that's where it's still wet. So I'll go back in and spend a little bit more time there. So while I'm finishing this up, I just want to talk about, we went short to long on a horizontal, and then we went short to long on a vertical. For the horizontal here, knuckles are up against the head, fingertips are out to create a short and long. You can see the distance between the head and the fingers there. Same thing on this side, knuckles here, fingers out. And then when we went vertically, moving from the top into the crown, we did a slight rounding, and then as we get to the crown into the back, we're creating a harder cutting angle to create that length down towards the bottom. All right.
Hello. I have a lightning bolt. Dad,
Yeah, hold on.
I have a lightning bolt.
Yep, we'll do it after. All right, so we're cleaning that up. So we're just putting some final touches on. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, anything you want to reach out about, any feedback is helpful. You can reach out to us on Instagram, Sharkfin Shears. Email if you're a school tuning in, Sharkfin or education@sharkfinshears.com. And for tuning in today, if you are looking to purchase a pair of shears and it's your first time purchase, you're going to do this as a single shear. You can type in promo code VP20. So it's my initials, VP20.
Remember that, people.
And get 20% off at checkout. And if you're a school and you're not yet carrying our student shear kit and looking to add that to your school, you can call your rep and give them promo code VP10 to get 10% off your first school kit purchase. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate all that you do. And again, this is just Sharkfin's way of giving back to our community. And we'll see you guys next Monday.
Bye.